Hello, my witches and warlocks, sick and tired here, and today we're reading some in-parent posts. If you are enjoying my content, please consider subscribing. I'm on the road to 1,000 and turning on notifications as I am here for you 5 days a week. So before we jump in, something really serious. I actually caught a picture of a ghost. Look at this. Oh my gosh. It's the question about the afterlife. It's over now. It's done. I figured it out. And expect nothing less from somebody in House Slytherin. I'm just saying. We are rather ambitious. Okay, I know that was really lame, but I could not resist sending that to my husband this morning, who also thought it was pretty lame. Am I a bad daughter? I'm 17 female and I'm always in my room locking myself away from my mother as she's usually never paying attention to anyone. When my father comes down, she ignores him, but then blows his phone up with messages. And I talk shit about her to my dad when she's out. Okay. Sometimes she's chill and can finally stop yelling, but then she'll change and be mad. Sometimes I have a good time with her when she's happy, but then she gets mad. Last night, they, stepdad and mom, were fighting and I felt physically sick. My dad is moving out next year and he's offering me to come down too. It breaks my heart because he says that he's only moving there as it's a place to die and a place where family is. He's 70. Am I a bad daughter? I mean, I don't really have much to go on here. You said that sometimes she's cool when she's not yelling. I'd have to say, no, you're not a bad daughter from what I read. You don't sound like a bad daughter to me. Narc parents refuse to meet my partner first after my divorce. I, 37 female, am seriously seeing my boyfriend, 55 male, and it's been almost 6 months. I have kids, older, and haven't introduced him to my kids yet, but wanted him to meet my parents maybe first. For context, both my boyfriend and I are stable in life, and we are relatively successful and happy people. It's not like I'm dating a loser. Anyways, we had set a time to meet up so my parents could meet him, but something happened that, ironically, my mom caused that ruined it from going forward. I called my parents and explained how they haven't said they're happy for me or said they want to reschedule to meet my partner and said this hurt my feelings. They responded with silence. We are pretty serious and I want him to meet my kids in the near future. However, my parents haven't brought the subject up again of meeting him, and all my dad said was that he feels awkward. In other words, it's easier and more comfortable for them if I just remain a single mom and don't make them meet a boyfriend or think about me having someone serious in my life again. However, my older brother is on his second marriage and they welcomed her with open arms. I am very hurt and am wondering if it's worth bringing up again or just accept that they do not want to be a part of my life in this way. I refuse to participate in any holiday get-together though, going forward, if my boyfriend/partner isn't included. Any advice would be so appreciated. I think it's up to you if you want to bring up the subject again, but if I was you, I'd be like, you know what, just screw it and just move forward with your happy life and your happy boyfriend. And the whole part about you saying they welcomed your brother's, fiance in. That happens. I don't know why. Narc parents, they always have that one child that they favor. You do you, girl. You talk to them if you feel like you need to, or say screw it and get married and say adios to them. From Academic Flatworm 245, and dad just attacked my brother. I've been no contact with my dad for a while now, but for some reason, everyone else still goes down there. Well, my nephew wants to be Link for Halloween, and I used to have the sword and shield. I say used to because it's in my dad's possession, so I'll never get it back because I understand the headache it'll take to get it. But my dad has it now, so they went to his house to get it. My parents just divorced this year and my dad cannot comprehend that it's his own actions that led to their divorce. He wholeheartedly believes the only reason why she would leave is because she has another man. Definitely not his constant mental and physical abuse. Well, he's obsessed with her still and is constantly trying to find out information on her so he can continue to harass her, but in the same breath ask for her to come back. He's even told her he'd pay her to have sex with him. Wow. That is definitely the way to win back a woman. Anyway, everything was apparently fine until they were leaving, when my dad rushed from the house and said,
"Who's your new daddy?"
And my brother responded with, "Don't talk about my mom like that." To which my dad continued until he told my brother to get off his property, to which he did. Well, my dad decided to grab a bamboo stick and start attacking my brother in the middle of the street. A bamboo stick? The hell? My brother grabbed the stick and my dad turned to get something else, and my brother said, "If you grab something else, I'll call the cops. To which his ex-wife said, no, let's just leave. Which pissed me the fuck off because he needs to be held accountable for his actions. Yes, absolutely. Also, my 7-year-old niece and 10-year-old nephew were a witness to it and were bawling the whole time. Oh, now see, now you done pissed me off. But for some reason, my brother and his ex-wife just don't seem to care about that. Ugh, the whole situation just pisses me off, and I want to text my dad so bad. I want to tell him off and just make him feel like shit, but I know it wouldn't work. I know it would just fall on deaf ears or eyes if I were to message. And now I'm having an argument with my mother-in-law about how she doesn't think he's actually a narcissist. I swear to God, all the older adults around me are stupid as fuck. Sure, I definitely don't know what I'm talking about, despite researching it for the past 5 years of my life and had been confirmed by my therapist. Well, you could still tell your dad off even if he doesn't listen. Might help you feel a little bit better. From Fogel McLovin, I think my mom is competing with me. I can understand that. Hi all. I, 27 female, think my mom, 60 female, is competing with me. And I don't know if it's in my head or if it's actually happening. At the beginning of the summer, I was told I needed foot. I've tried to say this like 3 times. I needed foot surgery. Foot surgery. A bone chip is caught in my MTP joint and is creating bone spurs. I decided to push my surgery off until the second week of November because of my work schedule and because I leave for a vacation on Thursday. 2 weeks ago, I heard my mom mention that her foot hurt to herself under her breath. I've never heard her complain about foot issues before. As I was talking with my parents about leaving their house for the day, my mom mentioned to my dad that they need to find her a podiatrist. And I kind of just looked at her a little confused, and she said, it's not because you have foot issues. I've had issues for a while. I asked if she was sure because this is a common pattern with her. Some examples. My sister or I will have an issue in our life and she makes it about herself. I had hip damage in high school due to tumbling, and then she all of a sudden had hip issues. I wasn't allowed to see the doctor, but she could get cortisone shots. Wait, what do you mean she could get them? The only way that I know of to get a cortisone shot is to go to the doctor. I don't know. Maybe there's a way to get them without. Not the same kind of context, but we grew up poor and I could never get a pair of Uggs back then because they were too expensive. Now, as an adult, I can afford them and have quite a few pairs just for my mom to say they're cute, then own the same pair in a different color a week later. I mean, they are cute though. When I lived at home after graduating college, she would say that my cats liked her more than me. She was verbally abusive growing up. She calmed down significantly when my sister and I were in college. This one time when I was 13 or 14 years old, I was eavesdropping on my parents and she told my dad she didn't like him defending my sister or I. My mom dropped out of university with 1 semester left in 87, and she didn't decide to go back to school until the last semester of my sister's graduate program at the same exact school. So their graduation was the same day. Okay, that's wild. If there is genuinely something wrong with her foot, then I obviously want her to get it checked out before it gets worse. But why now? Why is it that all of a sudden when I'm 2.5 weeks out from my surgery, she has foot issues neither me or my sister has ever heard of? On the day of my surgery, should I be worried that she's going to make it about herself? I personally just find this to be weird. It feels like my own mom is competing with me, and I don't understand for what. For attention in general? For attention from my dad? I don't get it. I cannot wrap my head around it. Am I crazy, or is my mom actually competing with me over my broken foot? I can't wrap my mind around it either. Honestly, I don't think any of us can because we don't understand the mind of a narcissist or the way that their minds work. It does sound a little bit strange that she's never mentioned any pain before and then all of a sudden she does. Whether or not she makes the surgery about herself, you know what? Who cares? Let her if she needs to. As long as you are doing what your doctors are telling you, I say let mom be crazy and you just worry about yourself. There was a woman that I worked with. She was a total hypochondriac. She always had to outdo people when they were sick. Like if somebody was sick, she was 10 times sicker. And we actually started to on purpose come in and be like, okay, I'm going to say that I think I have like the measles or something. And then a few days later, she would seriously be like, yeah, I think I might have caught it. Like, so I remember I came in one time. Now, mind you, I was around 21, 22 years old at this time. She was probably in her late 50s, early 60s. Okay. She's really cool though, really nice. And she was really gorgeous too. She did not look her age. And so I came in and I'm like, okay, watch. And I tell him, You guys, I think I might be pregnant. Not even a week later, it was like 5 days later, she was like,
oh no, I think I might be pregnant.
and I'm like, what is the mentality of this? It was so crazy. I just remember like when she went to the bathroom or she left or did something, we just all started cracking up. I'm like, no way. Maybe some of you know, maybe you can explain it to us. Why do they do that? From Several Flamingo 208, am I being petty for feeling let down by my mom? This is going to sound very silly and I'm fully aware of it. My mom and I have never had the best relationship. She has this tendency to be overly empathetic. If I have a headache, suddenly she has migraine. If I catch a cold, she's down with the flu. Even as a child, if I got sick, you could bet she'd be even sicker shortly after. Funny, it kind of goes with our previous one. Isn't there something called like sympathy pain? Is that maybe what's going on? Now that I'm 6 months pregnant, I had hoped this would be a bonding experience for us. In some ways, it has brought us closer, but I can tell she has been frustrated with all the attention I've been getting from the family. Okay, I see. Fast forward to this past weekend, I was feeling pretty sick, not pregnancy related, just a cold, and I really craved some homemade chicken and dumpling soup. I know how to make it myself, and the husband who knows how to make it too. I could have asked him to make it if I wanted, but my husband was sick too. So I half jokingly texted my mom to see if she'd make me some. I figured we only live 10 to 15 minutes apart, maybe she would bring me a bowl. To my surprise, she called back and said she'd love to make it, asking what ingredients I had and saying she'd come over after church in the morning. I was genuinely excited. It had been years since I'd had her soup. It was always one of the few foods she made I really loved growing up. The next morning around 7 a.m., she texted saying, sorry, I've been up sick all night. I can't come. I'm not saying she's lying or seeking attention, but knowing her, it feels a bit like the boy who cried wolf. If she didn't want to do it, that's fine. It was never that serious. But I am already hormonal enough and really looking forward to that soup, and it sucks to get my hopes up only to be let down by my own mom. I wish this was the first time things like this have happened, but time and time again, she always finds a way to make everyone's focus on her. Am I overreacting? Yes, probably, but also I just wanted some soup.
And that's soup!
Do I think you're overreacting? Well, I mean, it's easy to say yes just from this one post, but if you're saying that this is something that happens constantly all the time, then I would be pretty bummed out too. Now, in all honesty, she could just be sick. She really could just be sick. But I'm going to go based off of what you're telling us and say that you probably know your mother better than we do. So I'm very sorry that you didn't get your soup. From Logical Persimmon 28, my mother hates that I play the piano. What kind of mother would hate that? My daughter is starting to learn how to play the piano, and my God, I'm so proud. I'm such a proud mama. I started taking piano lessons when I was 14, after I started going to therapy for my depression, and the therapist told my parents I needed to be doing more activities outside my house. She paid for the lessons the first year. After, she said it would be stupid for me to keep going and wouldn't pay for it anymore. Since then, my retired grandma pays for my piano lessons, even though my mother has a very good salary. I'm 22 now, and I still take piano lessons. Every year, the music academy I go to organizes a piano recital where the students play. This event has always been hellish to me because my mother hates it. The first year, she made excuses saying that she didn't like going because she didn't like being among so many people in an audience, because she thought people would stare at her, which is ridiculous because she never has an issue with people. She's been in planes and other places with many people, and that never bothered her. Yes, that is very upsetting. I don't like when kids are wanting to do something. They're wanting, like they're ambitious, like me, and they're wanting to pursue things, but the parents are like, you never know what your child is going to be really good at and excel at. So you should always encourage. You're now 22 years old. Okay. You are an adult and you're still playing the piano and you're playing at these, I'm assuming like on a stage, there's an audience is what you're saying, and your mom isn't there. That's really sad to me. That breaks my heart. She's saying she doesn't like people staring at her in the, okay. I have horrible panic disorder, anxiety, and agoraphobia. And you can bet your ass that I would be there watching my daughter. I would want to be there for her just because that's how much I love her and I want to support her. So your mom sounds like she's just making up excuses. And even if she does suffer from anxiety and agoraphobia, which is something that is horrible and very hard to deal with, she could talk to a doctor about it, and there are medications to go on to help with that kind of stuff so that she can be there for you. I'm very sorry. I wish I can be there to watch you play. But that is all I have for you guys. I hope that you enjoyed the video. I hope that you can take something away from it. I definitely hope to see you next time. Until then, you can watch. Is it this way? Do I do it this way? I'm not quite sure which side of the screen it'll be on, but regardless, there's another video I think you might like if you liked this one. Until next time, I hope that your magic is strong. I hope your symptoms are low, baby. Bye.